Welcome to Ganitika.com. So here is another video on trigonometry, which is not going to be very long. It's just an exam takeaway. So I'm going to give you just a small trick to remember the trigonometric ratios of special angles. Do you know what the special angles are? Of course, 0, 30, 45, 60 and 90. So in your examinations, you will be asked to write the exact values of the trigonometric ratios of these special angles which are given in this table of values. So sine 0 is 0, sine 30 half and so on. So this is something that you need to remember if you do not have access to calculator for your examinations. So before I proceed further, I want to ask you a question. What are special angles? Of course, 0, 30, 45, 60, 90. But why are they called special angles? What is so much special about them? If you know your answers, please share that with the comments here so that the others will also know and we can have a nice discussion going on in the comments. Stay with me until the end of this video because I'm going to give a shorter trick to remember the tan values easily even if you do not know the sine and cos values. So we are going to go further into the video now and see how to remember these values easily. I also recommend that the moment you go inside your examination hall and you are seated, take one of the papers that you are given and write this table in the corner before you forget, and then start your examinations, and this will be very helpful for you during your examination. So this tip has been very useful in my own life as well as in my students' lives. So this is really good. Try this and let me know if it helps you or not. Make this table first. 4 rows and 6 columns, 5 special angles and 3 trigonometric ratios, sine, cos and tan. The left side you can see the right angle triangle, yes, and this right angle triangle is also an isosceles triangle because the legs are same with 1 unit, therefore the hypotenuse is square root 2 units, and this is the diagram you will use for finding the ratios, which I am not going to do here. The purpose of this video is just to see or just to find the trick to remember the values, not to find them. So using this green triangle, you can find the ratios for sine, cos and tan 45 degrees. And with the yellow triangle that is given on the right side, you can use that triangle to find the 30 degrees and 60 degrees by cutting this into half and having a right angle triangle with 30 degrees and 60 degrees and the sides as given there. So using this triangle, you can find the values for 30 and 60 degrees for sine, cos and tan. That's another issue, and you will be having another video on this, how to find this. But at the moment, let's say that we are using these two triangles to find the values. And what about 0 degrees and 90 degrees? How can you find those values using right angle triangle? So we need to find the sine, cos and tan for 0s and 90 degrees as well. So let's have a quick look into how to find the sine and cos for 0 degrees first. So you can see the triangle, and if I bring the point A all the way to B, you can see that the angle is getting reduced and the size of AB is also getting reduced, which is the opposite side for the angle, which means the sine value is getting reduced, whereas the cos value is getting to 1. Because the hypotenuse and the adjacent side are going to be equal, therefore cos 0 will be equal to 1 and sine 0 will be equal to 0 as seen by that triangle. Now what about 90 degrees? Let's first find only for sine 90 degrees. So sine of any angle is equal to the opposite side by hypotenuse, and in this right angle triangle this is 90 degrees. So the opposite side to this 90 degree is the same as the hypotenuse. Therefore this ratio becomes 1. And therefore sine 90 degrees is equal to 1. This is a quick look on how sine 90 is equal to 1. And now let's start with the trick we have. So fill the first sine row as shown here, 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Fill it like this and take the square root of each of these values and simplify them. Square root of 0 is 0, square root of 1 is 1. This is 2. We cannot simplify square root of 3 and square root of 2, so we keep it as it is. Now this is equal to 2. The next step is divide each one of them by 2. Very simple. And write down the values for each one of them. 0 by 2 is 0. This is half. Keep it as it is. This can be reduced to 1 over square root of 2. And this can be kept as it is. We don't bother to reduce this further. And this is equal to 1. Therefore, the values for sine is going to be sine 0 is 0, sine 30 is half, 45 is 1 over root 2, sine 60 is root 3 over 2, and sine 90 is 1. And this is for the sine row. Now let's go for cos row. You don't have to do anything. What you have to do is just reverse the order of the sine values for the cos values. Just reverse the order and write the values like this. And your cos row is filled very easily, quickly. And then we have to have these values for sine and cos. Once you are done with these two values, we can go in for tan values. So tan is, we know that it is sine over cos. So you just divide each of these values and you will get 0 over 1 is 0, and this over this is 1 over square root of 3, and this is going to be 1, and this is going to be square root of 3, and this is going to be 1 over 0, which we call as undefined. So sine tan 90 degrees is undefined. If you have done the graphs of tan functions, you will notice that at 90 degrees there is an asymptote. At the moment, you just need to know that tan 90 degrees is undefined because it's 1 over 0. Let's go further and sum up what we did. So the first thing that you have to do is draw this table and fill it with sine, cos, tan, and 0, 30, 45, 60 and 90 as shown. And the first step that you have to do is, do you remember? You have to just write 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the sine row. And then what's the next step, do you remember? Take the square root of each one of them and simplify them and divide by 2. This is the 3 important steps that you have to do only for sine row. For cos row, you will be reversing the order from the sine row. Just reverse the values and you will get the cos row. For tan, you have to divide the sine values by the cos values. This is little bit hard and more work, isn't it? So we can easily remember the tan row in a different way. So for the tan row, the first number is 0 and the last number is undefined. So fill that up. And the middle number is 1, which is 45 degrees. So tan 45 is 1. And what about the remaining two places? In both the places, you have something with square root of 3, which means you have 1 over root 3 and root 3. You already know that 1 over root 3 is a number which is less than 1 and root 3 is a number which is greater than 1. So you have this inequality with 1. So maintain the position as it is, which means you take the 1 over root 3 to the left of 1 on the table and root 3 to the right of 1 for the tan 60 degrees. So tan 30 will be 1 over root 3, tan 60 will be square root of 3. It is as simple as that. Even if your values for sine and cos are wrong, or if you forgot the values for sine and cos, you can simply do the tan row by itself. And this is what the table also gave you: 0 for tan 0, 1 over root 3 for tan 30, and so on. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, like and share my videos with your friends and families. And if you need any help on any of the topics, or if you have any questions that you want me to make a video on, just send me the message and I'll be making it for you. Until next video, bye bye.